Kermit Steck. I'm running for United States Senate here in Tennessee. I'd like to talk to you briefly about a subject that is very sensitive to most people, and that's about supporting the family, the traditional family, the God-believing people that know that the traditional institution of marriage is between a man and a woman. And I support that wholeheartedly, completely. Recently, the President came out with his declaration that he supported same-sex marriage. I don't. And I want to talk to you briefly about why. And I want to cover it from several different perspectives. The first one is from a psychological perspective. The second one is from a legal or judicial court system's perspective. And the third one is from a biological, scientific perspective. The first one being psychological in nature. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology. Part of the courses that I took were abnormal deviant behavior. Back in 1989 or 1990, one of the courses that I took discussed homosexuality and lesbianism, transgender, these other types as abnormal behavior. This was the same, and this was the way it was until 1994. Under the old system, the DSM-3, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, 3rd edition, said it was deviant behavior. And in many states it was criminal. In 1994, the American Psychological Society or Association, however you want to call it, decided that it needed to be revised. And under the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, 4th edition came out, it was no longer classified as abnormal and deviant behavior. Now what this did was set the stage for a complete turnaround in the American judicial system. And through a Lawrence case in Texas, the sodomy case, it was overturned. They also brought in international law into the American judicial system, to a sovereign country. They brought this in and overturned it. Of course, there was no psychological basis not to anymore. So now you have a legal system that says it's okay. The third way that I want to look at it is from a scientific, biological view. Some of you may or may not be familiar with what's called the Human Genome Project, where the human genetics have been mapped out. 25, 30,000 genes have been mapped out to see what kind of predispositions humans may have to certain conditions, or what genes contributed to certain kinds of issues. None of them, absolutely none, has been proven that there is a biological, scientific component to homosexuality. From a more common sense viewpoint on this, if you have identical twins that have developed from the same zygote, the same egg, many times, not most times, one, if not both, are quote-unquote heterosexual and one may be homosexual. In other words, one's straight and one isn't. Now, if this biological component was there, doesn't it stand to reason that both would be either or? And that just doesn't hold up. So you can see why I don't agree with this decision. It has altered the very fabric of a society, and every society that has ever had this problem come up, we've had to deal with it in the past, and it's always been one of the last things that takes place before utter dissolution of the society where these things are taking place. So I just wanted to talk to you briefly about it and wanted to bring this to the forefront. I'm not shying away from it, even though it's a delicate matter. It's a sensitive issue. Many families have members that are dealing with this issue, but we do not change society to meet the ideals of a few people when the majority of the people wholeheartedly disagree with same-sex marriage and go with the traditional role of one man, one woman in marriage. Another issue that crops up, and is another whole can of worms, and that is if same-sex marriage occurs, then same-sex divorces will occur. And then you have another issue of what happens and who gets custody of the children that are not even from a biological impossibility of fathering children when both of them are of the same sex. So you can see this whole issue is just continuing to get worse and worse and worse. So that's where I stand. Thank you for your time. God bless.